Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of Otis, and I'm back here with another video. And today, we are doing the final part of What If Deku had Mechamaru's powers. But I will apologize in ahead of time. This will not include a lot of action. It will just be a wrap-up of the entire series in a neat way. I am not going to bullshit it. Deku is already way too OP, so yeah. But I hope you will like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notifications bell to stay up to date on all my videos, and go check out the playlist, which is now complete by the end of this video. And without any further ado, let's begin. Recap down below. We will begin this part with Deku opening his eyes in a dark world. His thoughts are discombobulated. In front of him then appears a vestige of sorts. In his dorm room, he will then open his eyes, sweating and breathing heavily. What the hell was that? He sits and turns out of bed, hanging his head over while he looks at his hand. AllForOne? Hours later, when school starts, during lunch, Deku goes to meet AllMight and tells him about this strange dream he had. Toshinori then says, "Remember when I said about not sensing AllForOne? I can sense it from you now. It's like I'm talking to AllForOne." Deku is stunted by this and stands, asking how that's possible, and AllMight says to calm down. And as he does, he sits down and laments on this. Then that black flash thing I used. This is really annoying. AllMight, however, says that it might actually be a good thing. AllForOne said he couldn't take anything from you. That must be because you took something from him. I've never felt this before, but there's a certain source coming from you. I don't want this. Can't I just give it away? I can, right? AllMight said he doesn't know, but says that things will get better. From what I've seen, you have far more control of yourself, especially in desperate situations. You're stronger than he'll ever be. Well, I don't want to steal a friend's quirk by accident, so we have to figure out something. This is when AllMight then asks if he can try speaking to the power, because Miro said he'd been having dreams of seeing vestiges as well. Maybe if Deku focused on it, he could somehow destroy the power from inside. So he tries and closes his eyes, and as he does, he uses a bit of cursed energy, and AllMight would ask, "Is it working?" Deku would then open his eyes, saying, "Damn it! It's... Never mind. It works." As he opens his eyes, he finds himself in the vestige world, but as he looks around, he finds that he is walking among a ground made of puppets. Well, this is weird. He then tries thinking about the black flash, but nothing happens, so instead he thinks about how he felt when AllForOne was in his head and was trying to take his quirk away, and this would actually form AllForOne in his suit before him. Izuku Midoriya. AllForOne. In the real world, Deku's face will start to be covered by these marks of red and black, making AllMight worry as he thinks, "Damn it, maybe we should have done this at nighteyes." But then the marks would go away, as back inside Deku, AllForOne is stunted. But the real AllForOne in Tartarus that is connected to Deku, that was trying to influence Deku by using his power, starts to feel his control that he was trying to exert just be taken away. He was trying to corrupt him, but it stopped. It worked at first, but now it's just gone. "What is this kid?" he thought. Deku then starts laughing. "I think I just realized what you're trying to do, but you forgot one thing. This is my body. I know its ins and outs. This is my mind. It's my domain." AllMight then thinks, why isn't his anger swallowing him up? This ability to control yourself to this degree, it's downright psychopathic. He'll eat me up. My plans can't fail here. I've overstayed my welcome. It seems that I must go now. But as he tries to go away, he cannot, as puppets start to crawl up and cover him and just hold him back, and the area gets covered in a barrier. This is something you can just run away from anymore. This is a battle of will. AllForOne then laughs nervously as outside in the real world, Aizawa will then come in and he sees AllMight trying to wake up Deku desperately. "Can we just not have a normal day?" "Help me," AllMight says. Aizawa then runs in as Shinzo, who is waiting outside, and sees Deku be brought out, and he would say, "Midoriya." Aizawa would then bring him out and he says that he'll run him to a recovery girl, and as he runs by, people will be asking what's wrong with him, is he okay? And Aizawa would run saying he's fine, just go back to class. We then cut to a few minutes later when 1A would have gathered at Ground Gamma for their next trial, and Aizawa tells everyone that Deku has fallen asleep and won't get up. "What the hell does that mean? He's been fine for the past weeks," shouts Bakugo. Kirishima then tells Bakugo to calm down. "Maybe this is something to do with his mom. Midoriya has a lot to deal with." "Is it due to some psychological damage, Sensei?" asks Momo, and Aizawa then says, "Not surprisingly, yes. He's not hurt. If anything, he's perfectly healthy, but his brain activity is off the charts." "But it's Midoriya. You ought to have a lot of faith in him by now." Aizawa would then say, "I agree. It's safe to say that he has way too much tenacity to not come back from this. We just have to keep fighting and wait for him to come back." They all then nod just as they hear the voice of Monoma as he walks up, acting crazy as usual, and his class follow behind. I think it's time we settle things, don't you, 1A? Hell yeah. Where's Midoriya? Wait, he's not here, Tetsu? And Bakugo would say, nope, but we don't need him. Hearing Deku wasn't here, 1B was kind of getting a grin, because if Deku's not here, they have a chance to win. Bakugo then notices this and says, who the hell are you getting relaxed right now? Deku's out of the picture, but you'll still be getting a beating today. They can feel this extreme bloodlust coming from him and 1A and get serious as well, because now it seems that they are actually inciting violence, and this is honestly much worse because they were kind of like disrespecting him a little bit. And Black King then walks up to Aizawa asking what happened, and Aizawa says, it's business as usual. Midoriya is dealing with something outrageous. He'll be fine. Alright, all of you calm down. We have a special guest today. To everyone's surprise, Shinzo would then walk up, dressed up in a hero costume, wearing a scarf and a mask. Nice to meet you. And just like that, 1A starts fighting 1B. And while they are inside the vestige world, AllForOne and Deku were battling it out, using every ounce of power. Though their forms were not real, the pain they felt was real. I told you, this is my domain. And AllForOne, who can barely even stand now, feels something as it's something that he hasn't felt in a while. It's fear, pure fear. I'm gonna end this on one final move. As he claps his hands together, Deku would say, Kanyoriki. What forms in the air will be multiple spikes, which then go to stab into AllForOne, and this will then shatter him, literally, like shatter him figuratively and literally, and the power starts to crack and break. What are you? What are you? It doesn't matter, stupid. I'm just glad to have you out of here. AllForOne then begins to crumble, shatter to nothing inside Deku's domain, and I'm talking about the power, not the person himself. And we then cut to AllForOne in his prison cell as he realizes the truth of what just happened. He cannot even describe how he feels. He has no eyes to cry out of, first off, and he himself is now broken. As for Deku, when he opens his eyes, what waits for him are his classmates, and with a nervous smile he says, hey guys, sorry about missing out. You know it's not my fault, right? I'm gonna kill you, said Bakugo. Recovered Girl, who is at his side, and says, sorry kid, couldn't stop them. And Naraka then asks if he's okay, and Deku says, apparently, that guy AllMight fought when he tried to take my quirk. He left me with some sort of bug. You lost your quirk, Hiroshima would ask, and Deku shakes his head as he clenches his fist, and from the sky forms a puppet bird which lands on his shoulder. I feel stronger than ever. Good, you have a lot of makeup work, but for now we're going to the door, and Bakugo says. Deku then nods and gets out of bed, thanking Recovery Girl as they then leave, and Deku says they don't have to worry this time. I'm not lying, okay? I just didn't want you guys to worry too much. Sarah would then say, no problem, and we actually crushed 1B for you. Too bad you have to fight all the teachers now. Deku then laughs nervously before then saying, wait, teachers? Yeah, you'll be fine, come on, Kaminari would say, and Deku thinks, why does this feel like I'm being scolded for something? After getting out of bed the next day, Deku finds himself at Ground Genma, with Deku facing all the teachers while far off his classmates and 1B are watching, including Shinso. And Uraraka would say, you can do it, Mechamaru. Deku says, thanks, I didn't know Aizawa Sensei would be here though. Before Deku stands Aizawa, Black King, Cementos, Midnight, and Ectoplasm. Is this legal? Deku would ask. Aizawa then says, yes, this is more so for us to test you. You need to get stronger. You can handle it, right? Midnight would ask. Deku would then sigh as he summons and puts on a mechanical mask, getting in a fighting stance, and he bursts with cursed energy. What do I have to do? As the teachers explain the rules at the watching platform, a worried Shinso would then ask if it was really okay for a bunch of heroes to gang up on one kid, but Kendo, however, would say, you don't have to worry about him. Midoriya is really strong. But Aizawa's gonna cancel his quirk, Shinso would say, and Todoroki says he'll be fine. Just watch and see. As the test is explained, this is when Deku is of course aware of what he has to do, and he has to get past all the teachers and reach a certain point about a kilometer away, and things were about to begin. And as soon as they set to begin, Aizawa is then grabbed from behind and thrown into the terrain behind, and all the teachers turn back to see a gigantic gorilla. Do it! The gorilla then roars with cursed energy, freezing them all up as it reverberates through their entire bodies like a shockwave, and Deku would jump backward while doing a front flip, and he lands down below as he would start to run. The gorilla then goes back into the ground, completely being unsummoned, but the teachers being unable to move. He learned another move, Midnight would say, and Black King says, Jesus, what is this kid? As Deku runs through the area and jumps and swings from pipe to pipe, however, he is ambushed by ectoplasm clones coming from everywhere, but he doesn't stop, and as these clones would be approaching him, they're blasted by a Hellzone grenade from all sides. And if you don't know what this move is, go watch the last part. I think that's when I showed it. And Deku would say, nice try, sir. He would then find the real ectoplasm and slam a kick into his face before then moving forward, and as he's doing this, Shinso would just be wide-eyed. How is he still a student? He's fighting against pros like it's just another day. How do you think we feel? We've known them longer, Mineta would say. And Shinso, seeing all the faces of the still 1A and 1B class, then thinks, man, that hero course is amazing. Eventually, while running, Deku out of nowhere then loses his powers and would fall as he would barely hang onto a pipe, just as Aizawa would then land onto it and look down at him. Get thinking, my student. You have a scary look on your face there, sensei. And Deku then thinks, I hope this works. Despite Aizawa looking at him, Deku focuses and Aizawa would then hear something as he turns to see a blast that hit him in the chest. How did he do that? As Aizawa falls, he catches himself and looks to see Deku was already gone, but by then something grabs him from below and yanks him down as he then lands and looks to see Mechamaru. Hello, sensei, he would say in a robotic voice. Aizawa then smiles nervously, saying, seriously, what the hell? The other teachers would be held up with their own puppet, cornering them at this point while Deku runs out, and he soon finds himself getting closer and closer to the finish line. And this is when he sees concrete slabs coming out at him, and he manages to jump over them, but while mid-air, more of them come from below. Alright then. He then explodes with cursed energy and expands it, breaking all of them as they near him, and he looks out to see Cementos. You're not going anywhere, the hero would yell, as giant walls then sprout up and it starts to kind of tower over Deku, kind of making a barrier that intertwine, but Deku would then break through all of them, and Cementos from down below is then hit by an attack, and he gets frozen. This was a blast of cursed energy, as Deku would say, sorry sir. Then Deku makes it all the way to the end, and as he arrives, he falls down breathing heavily. Holy shit, were they trying to kill me or something? No, we just wanted to guard you. Not that you went easy on us either. All the teachers then walk out being a bit bruised, and Aizawa would say, good work, but how did you uncancel your quirk? You did that? Midnight would ask, and Deku says, I will explain that later, but I'm kind of exhausted. I'm not overpowered, you know? Back at the watching platform, all the students are trying to learn as much as they can from what they just saw, how Deku moved, and Bakugo would think, Hellzone grenade? And it's better to drag him out into an open field, at least they'll have some chance of winning. But it is quite shocking to see something like that in action, regardless of how used they are to Deku just being OP. And after changing, Deku then walks out the locker room to meet Mirio. Senpai? Yep, just wanted to tell you that Nighteye wanted to see if he could borrow one of your birds, if possible. And Deku would say, oh, about that, you can also take this with you. As he focuses, Deku forms in his hand will be a bird, a new and a Mechamaru-shaped earpiece with Mechamaru's face on it. And Deku would say the bird will survey things from above and it will tell you what it has found through the earpiece. How long does it last? Mirio would ask. And Deku says, as long as it needs to. I learned to make them last longer. Truth be told, the longest is about a day though. Mirio then chuckles, confusing Deku as he says that he's sorry. I'm not making fun of you. Thanks, it'll be helpful. The league has been on the move lately. Deku then says he'll join after school, get back to work, and Mirio then nods as he leaves, and Deku goes back to his day. Then 5 days pass, and everyone finds themselves in class, and they're talking about the rise of villains and the criticism towards heroes, when in barges Mount Lady with Midnight. Today we'll be taking a little lesson in showbiz, Mount Lady would say, and Mineta then freaks out, clinging to Deku, who says it's okay. If you stay cool, you'll sound less weird. Right, thanks. But why is she here regardless, Mineta would say, as he kind of has a thing for Mount Lady. I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure he does. And Aizawa then walks in with his sleeping bag on, and he says, since you guys are getting more and more media exposure, she's here to teach you how to handle it. Oh yeah, that interview between me and Midoriya and Bakugo, Todoroki would say. And Kaminari would say, you mean the one where Bakugo kept yelling over and over? And they'll start laughing a bit, and he tells him to shut up. They soon then head out to the practice hero interviews at a certain ground. I forgot the name, tell me down in the comments. And everyone gathers, and there's a stage set as Todoroki is the first to be called up. And Mount Lady would say, that was some amazing work out there, Shoto. What? Todoroki would say. And Mount Lady would then say to pretend like they just did a rescue or something. And they sort of take a fake interview, and Todoroki's pretty charismatic, so it works very well. And he shows his quirk and his latest technique. And then everyone gets interviewed, showing their own little personality and their super moves, until it is Deku's turn. As he steps up, Mount Lady would then think, ooh, he looks like the bad boy type. She then says, amazing work out there, Midoriya, and he says, thank you. It's good to know everyone made it out alive. Villains have been on the rise lately. Oh, and what are your thoughts on that? Deku would then say, if you mean the rise on the villains, I think it's something that's been happening, well, for a while now since that incident, and the civilians just know more about it now. It's an underlying problem, but it has been a problem for a while. Good, you're natural, Midoriya, Kirishima would yell. And Midnight would then say, by the way, I heard you were learning something new. Did you get a handle on it? And Deku would then say, oh yeah, sure. For context, my quirk lets me summon puppets, and that's how it's been. But now that I know the source of my power, I learned to do this. Deku would then hold his hands out, and to everyone's surprise, his body would reconstruct, and he himself gains the full body of a puppet. Second version of transfer. Complete takeover, Deku would say. Everyone seeing this would clap at it. My lady would say, "You just made yourself a puppet then." Deku would then nod, saying, "Yep, see, even my voice is robotic. And it naturally enhances my durability. I got the inspiration from Kirishima." "You're welcome," Kirishima would say. Deku then says thanks and regains human form, with Mount Lady then asking if he had a hero he looked up to, and Deku then laughs, saying, "I would say AllMight usually, but I have a new favorite hero, his previous psychic." "Oh, Sir Nighteye," Mount Lady would say, and Deku says, "Yeah, he helped me realize that I can turn any situation in my favor if I work hard enough." And I mean, that's what a hero's supposed to do anyway, right? You will now do a huge time skip. Yeah, sorry, it's already near the end. Years would pass with everyone graduating, the league would be taken down, though there was some major trouble, aka close to war arc, but they didn't really have a war arc. And in the struggle, Deku used complete takeover to gain the gigantic body of one of his puppets, and he slugged the furious Gigantomachia. And this is what soon gave him the title as the strongest hero. And when he became an adult, this title just kept getting more and more prevalent because he kept showing why he was the strongest. And creations from his quirk, though were not meant to be like full of circuitry, were used to make new gadgets. People copied like their infrastructure and things like that. People like May and technicians would copy it, making new things for heroes. And using what he earns as a hero, Deku then sends some money to help kids, and he donates and gives back because he already has all he wants and can always earn more, but he knows how it feels to be alone and powerless. So like Endeavour, he also does cases more than just doing action like All Might, which is why he's also so liked, because he cares about the lower population, like the people that are not taken care of enough, like the low level places. Oh, and Deku ends up marrying Uraraka, and the story goes on. But we will have a little, sneak peek into the future. With the car pulling up to Masegaki Primary School, from the passenger seat would then run out a young girl with white hair. "Can I go in yet?" Sora would ask. She would then be patted on the head by Deku, who walks out saying that she really needs to calm down. And Uraraka does as well, says the same as well when she walks out. And Uraraka would say, "We've established that you get a little bit too hyper. Don't go overboard, okay, sweetie?" Sora would then pout, saying that she doesn't get hyper, and people would walk by saying hi to Deku and his family, and they would find their daughter, adorable. And this is when Sora's teacher would actually run up, coming out to meet them. "Wow, Mr. and Miss Midoriya, it's an honor." And Sora would say, "It should be an honor to greet me. Stop hogging my spotlight." The teacher would then nervously laugh, saying, "She's definitely quite confident, isn't she?" And Sora would then say, "Of course she is. Look, my quirk's awesome." The teacher would then ask what it is, and she's about to explain it when a round of rifles go off, and instantly everyone becomes worried, with some civilians seeing villains drive by and they cause a bunch of trouble, only for a gigantic mechanical hand to sprout up from before them from the cement, and their eyes widen as they are then grabbed and stopped, with them getting knocked out from banging their heads. And Sora would then run out to the street to see the villains getting carried away by some stone puppets, and becomes wide-eyed. The people would then be honestly laughing at the criminals who were dumb enough to trespass here because Deku lives here. Are you stupid? Why would you do that? This seems conveniently placed to show an awesome scene at the end of a series. Anyway, as everyone claps and thanks Deku, he waves, saying, "Oh, Sora's quirk is called Switch, by the way. I wanted to say it, but yeah, look." She then touches Deku and bursts with cursed energy before then clapping, and instantly they switch places, leaving the teacher wowed. "You can use that energy too. You're gonna be a fine hero, Sora." "Yeah, obviously," she'd yell. And that brings us to the end of the series. Welcome to the end of the video. I know, I'm sorry, that was super short, and honestly speaking, I got bored doing that series, which is really fucked up, but this is kind of you guys' fault, okay? If you actually were interested in this shit from the start, I would have kept it consistent. I would have gone into the war arc, alright? It's not all my fault. Okay, it is partly my fault, but I just wanted to say that, well, this may not felt like a real finale. I feel like this is the best way to end it. Deku getting a family, because he's never had a true one. He's been abandoned. It's the feeling that I'm trying to instill in there, But yeah, stay safe. I hope you enjoy the edits as usual. Like I said, this is a basic thing now. Sorry it took so long for this to come out, but I just started recording, I think depending on when this comes out, I recorded very late, way later than I was supposed to because of some issues. But here it is. And now I will work on What If Asta Was Yuta's Reincarnation Part 6, baby. And then we will just be doing 2 series now, so I can get back on my groove and be consistent. What if Naruto was not True Alpha Werewolf? Still working on it, okay? I made Asta and the Inuzuka clan way too OP for any of you who saw that shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I made them demon gods, bro. They are OP. Their kids can beat Jonin. Their kids, you could be 4 years old. They would beat Jonin, bro. I made them that OP. Okay, I'm gonna try to go work on that. I will also, of course, put edits in as well because that's the standard for me now. I don't know what Dark King is gonna do, but that's gonna be the standard for me now. I'm gonna put as many edits in as possible, and we will see. I'll see if I can do it correctly. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I really am trying, guys. All right, I'll see you later. Stay safe. Peace.
Oh darling, if I had bought you flowers, would you still be here by my side? Yeah, I thought this moment could be ours, while I'm walking lonely through the night. You can break my bones, break all the promises, but leave me alone. Don't break my heart. You should fucking stay with him. You should fucking stay with him.